33B. Here's our new pin block ready to be drilled, but before we drill it we have to finish this with gold because they did paint it like this. It was painted gold lacquer, or no, varnish, and I think we're going to do the same. So we have to do that before we drill the holes. And this is what, these are the original felt here, of course, and they fit good. You can use this wood again, and there's our screws below. One there. This one's from the back side. This one goes all the way through. Now I have to turn this over and trim these bolts off from the other side. And then I'm going to tackle the agraffs. Boy, these aren't too bad over here. Not so good over here. We'll fix these up. We'll deal with these. Anyways, that's what we're going to do next. Got to put the finish on here now. This is painted gold, like the plate. And we're going to do a little experimentation and find out how we can match this. Take all this stuff off of here. So I'm going to wait to do the gold on the plate until after the agraffs are ready to go in. Right now I have to make sure every one of these is clear. We have a tap here. We run the tap down there, special tap. These here are the originals. And you can see they're flattened out on one side. Only the top section. And they begin to have a little lip on them here, see? And what that does, it goes over here. It's an odd thing. We have one that's broken off in there. I drilled it out. It's very difficult to drill brass on the end like that. Somebody tried to drill it out before. And over here we have this, where these agraffs go in. Only half of it. See? Chewed off the front here to fit this flat spot. It's a strange setup, but that's the way it is. And as you can see, they got more and more metal as they went down here, of course, and now it's thick enough to have the whole shank in there. But what we got to do now is make sure the holes are clear. Prepare each agraff. They got to be cleaned up, and the holes have to be checked for roundness or damage. And I don't think we're going to be using these. I have another set by Miracle. This is from a scale 19. And they're in much better shape than the ones that came out of this 33B. So if they are better, I'm going to use these. They look better. Some of these look like they're bent. They're not straight. Here, the alignment of that threaded shank onto the head looks like it's bent right at the collar right there. And that's very scary. Here is one here from the scale 19. It's just in much better condition. And the shank is not bent. And the overall condition of the brass seems to be in better shape. So we have, luckily we have these Other than that, we wouldn't have anything. It's an oddball thread. You have to have a Chickering because there's no other, nobody else does this back then in 1867. So that's what we're up to. This pin block, I'm just going to drop it down. It's already unscrewed. See, we took all the screws out. There's only that clamp holding it. So I'm going to drop this down, put the finish on here, and at the same time, while that's drying and getting ready, I'm going to begin to clean up and fit these agraffs in these holes here. Clean this up and make sure they fit well. All of them, especially that broken one there. Oh, we got one here that's not too good. Check that out. It's a tough time. Oh boy. Okay, so we'll deal with that. Luckily there's no more that are that way. Okay, so let's do it. Yeah, see how cruddy these are? Rusty and just black dirt in there. Makes me wonder if they had anything underneath them. These here I've been cleaning with just plain vinegar and brushing them off a little bit. Just take this here and just keep that wet like that. Every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can walk away. But it's a real good way to just clean things off without any fumes. It really does a good job getting rid of the rust off of metal. Very, very good. They have other things that are much more aggressive than this, but this is like, I can sit here and just like smell like pickles. Just vinegar, household vinegar. But if you leave it like this and just brush it, so that's the cleaner coming. Yeah, it gets all the crud out so I can see what's going on quickly. Just a few minutes it takes to do this, and that's good enough for now so I can see what's up. We'll blow that out with the air gun compared to these. And I don't have a cutter right now to get in there. I don't know if I'll need one. The seating doesn't look too bad, but look at this last agraff here. You know, the twisting motion is toward me. It's that way, toward the player. String pulls up on the front of the agraff as it goes through the hole and has a tendency to twist it backwards. That's probably the reason this one is bent. This first one here. I don't know if you can see it, but it is not true with the flat face of that agraff. It is bent backwards, and that's probably the reason right there. Only half of the agraff is touching, not even seeing this back part here. It's not touching the cast iron. Right there. You can see it's dirty. It was in the air. So, I'm going to try to correct that. This here. I can't really grind this down, so I'm going to have to put something in there. Something really hard. And there are substances we can put there and give that a little buttress so that the bottom of the agraff is flush with the surface. And look at this, all the way up here. Here's some more here. This halfway, and the strings come down at an angle like that over the cushion down into the agraff and out the front. And again, it has a tendency to twist the agraff to the rear. And look at that, some of these are only halfway, so the back half of the agraff isn't supported the way it, to me, it should. And I really don't want to go down with them and take the time to machine them out, so I'm going to do something else. We'll see. Okay. problematic? Maybe. But they are breaking off. Broke one off here. Broke one off over here. And this one here looks like it's ready to break off. So we're going to pay attention to that. I'd feel better if they were seated properly. Well, okay, we'll see. We've got to clean this off now. See how clean that's getting? I don't know if you can see that in this camera here, but the metal is very shiny. It's got all the crud out of the corners. A little bit of brushing like this, it takes time. When I was a kid, they used to put bicycle chains in Coca-Cola. Yeah, phosphoric acid, and then you drink that. You know, not after you wash the chain, but it made the chain shiny like that. Very strange. I don't know if this camera's good enough, but you can look inside the holes. See how clean they are after our vinegar clean situation. You know, compared to these over here, they're pretty dirty. They don't shine like that. There's rust in them holes, but this does a good job. It's very, very cool. The air gun blows everything out. And over here we have, agraffs and ammonia. See how it's turning that ammonia blue, dark, whatever. Got the reaction going. A few minutes in here, and it does wonders to begin to clean them up good. See how nice and they're starting to brighten up a little bit. It etches the surface, but it's easy to clean with steel wool after, you know, compared to these. So yeah, it helps. First step, soaking them in ammonia. A few minutes. Not too long, because if you let them in there for too long, maybe, I don't know, half an hour or so, they'll turn black again, so you can't do that. And you're going to wait and wash them off with hot water, and we'll see what they look like after. Okay, what's next? I got to drill out this broken agraff in here. I don't think there are any more. No, I think that's the only one. The shank is broken in there, the brass part, and I can't go in with my tap. Only goes in a little ways, and we don't want to break the tap off. So we're going to, or I am going to drill it out. And what I did was I made a guide here. The guide has to be at an angle. What this does, this is very high tempered steel. It's from an upright piano spring, pedal return spring from an upright. Look at how thick it is. Holy. Anyways, it makes a good guide for the drill. The drill will stay in the center and not ruin my holes. And I'm going to do that now. Thought I'd take a second here, show you how the drill guide's working well. Just walking the brass right out the hole. When the brass stops coming out, I gotta stop. I'm through. All the brass is out of the hole. And that's what I want. Now I can run my tap down there. Oh yeah, chewed it all the way down nice and straight. It's in this old upright piano spring. Did the job. That was a piece of wood to hold it at an angle, approximate angle. There. Now, the hole is good. I hope you can see this. I just took these agraffs from that scale 19 out of the ammonia bath, and lo and behold, they were gold plated. Check that out. There's still some on. They shine. Huh. I'm surprised. See that? That's gold plating on these agraffs. Wow. We can actually pretty much do that here. We have some things to do some things like that with. Anyways, that's to my surprise, they are gold plated. Like that. That's cool. Okay. These are from the 33B, and I was just checking. I thought they were brass. I'd never seen gold-plated agraffs before, but they are. These are in really bad shape. Looks like most of the plating is gone. It does chip off, I guess. But you can see the little shiny spots still that are left. A little bit of gold left on there. See that? And this is what they look like when just a little steel wool. I never saw that before. It's going to make these clean up pretty easy, I think, if they all clean up like this with a little steel wool. And the holes are in good shape. Okay. Huh. Another bit of info. Guess we'll leave that sit for a while in this 33B again. Well, that's the way it was originally. They had painted the gold in there. Gold, bronze. Okay, time to do some boo-boo repair on the plate. I think this should be fixed. This is all gouged up here. I don't know what they did there. It looks like they put something on there to fix the scratches that were here, because they're right on top of some dents. And if we can clean this up a little bit in this area, the rest of the plate is very good. And that's what we're going to do. Pin block is over here. It's a little bright. This was a test to see if the color where I'm at. Now this is, see, it's a little different. Not much, it's very close to that shiny spot over here. Like that. Now you see that primer color is here. It's odd. This primer color is on under the plate. And then when the plate was in, they put the gold on here. I find it hard to believe, but it's true. I find this primer color here on the sides of the agraffs on some of them. So the agraffs were in the piano also. I guess the tuning pins weren't, because they'd have gold paint on them too. And well, anyways, that's what we're trying to do today here. We're going to match this up a little bit better to the plate, the rest of the plate. It's a little bright. Of course, it's brand new. The plate goes very old. Undoubtedly changed color over the 100-something years. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Sanding this down a little bit with some fine sandpaper. And we'll give it a second coat, and that should be nice and smooth. And I had a lousy paintbrush the first time. I have a better paintbrush this time. Varnish brushes are hard to find, and they are very expensive. So we'll try. Okay. I have all my agraffs cleaned and put in place. They're all out of order. Well, most of them are out of order. There was quite a few missing, some broken. All the holes were dirty, so now they're all cleaned up, and now we have to put the plate in the piano. And I have to orient them so they're straight with the strings, perfectly square to the strings. And that's going to take some doing. I'm going to have to do some magic here, shimming or machining off the bottom, and we'll do that next. But at least we have a set here. Don't forget, these are 150 years old. These are the originals, vintage agraffs, and here's the extras, thank God. Bronzing stuff. I think I have success at last. After many attempts, I've been put this mica powder here in this bronzing liquid that must be at least 50 years old, from the 70s or so. Leo Ulfelder Company, New York. Anyways, I've had it for a while. I never used it, and I've decided to try it because we just have to. This is the way it was put on with a brush, and so far it's turned out pretty well. I tried some on this plate over here to try to blend in this area here to over there, right where it stops there, where the damage is. And this was all damaged up down here, right here. And I filled in the boo-boos, and now just trying this out. Just kind of give it a little test to see what it looks like compared to the rest of the plate, and it looks very good. I mean, my brush is dried up here, but just giving a little hint of what it could look like. I think its color matches pretty well. See how it blends right into the plate? You can barely tell, especially if we put a little dirt in here, make it look old. But that matches really, really nice. So we're going to do these areas here that are bad, worn through. This is under the cushions here, so you don't see this all the way up to here. This is wood, this is the cushion, understring felt. We have to do this, the agraff ledge here, this field, that has to be done. But I'm really happy with the result of this varnish here. That's going to look so much better. I'm not ready for that, I'm just testing, but seems to have had some success over here on this pin block. That's pretty much what it looks like. A little bit of dark area. Wait till it dries. It's still fresh here. And yeah, it worked. Okay, what do we got here? Agraff installation. This is what has to be done. We made this little file tool to clean up this surface on these agraffs right there. A file broken in half and super glued to a piece of aluminum here. So it has a little hole in the middle here. Put the agraff in, put our drill on here. Cleans up the bottom really nice so it seats better. It just gets the gunk off of there and resurfaces the brass. And then we have to put them in here and see what position they are in. They have to be facing the strings, I mean the bridge, and these are not from this piano. These over here are. So they're like 80 or 80% from the 33B. And they're not rotating to the right position. You have to kind of feel it out. You don't want to strip the brass off and break them off in there. This is the test though. You test every single one of them with a good twist, see? And I can feel it that the agraff is strong. I don't need to go any tighter than that, but we need to rotate it a few more degrees. So we need to take off some metal. And we got this handy dandy plastic tool here that we made. And saves time. And then we have this cutter that we put in here. This thing. Huh. That's what we use it for. See, you got this guide tool that fits. It's a broken drill. We take a drill bit, cut it in half, we stuck it in a hole here, tight. And that's a guide for our cutter to resurface where the agraff's going to touch. Clear the hole. Air pressure works good. It's better than blowing on it with your mouth all the time. Huff, 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 puff. That works better. Air compressor. So now we try the agraff again. Before we do that, we make sure we have no little burrs here. Little filing check. Because once they rotate close to the position they need to be in, like these have to go a little further, but I have to put the plate in the piano first before I finish that up. Now let's check our agraff and see if it's in the right position. Almost. Let's check it out with the force here, a little force. Oops. Yes, see that? Gotta watch it. Going past the position now. So I'm gonna have to put a shim under there. That's how efficient our thing is, but that's good. We can deal with that. I got little shims that go underneath that if you need to. Okay, next. How many more we got to go? Oh my, all of those down there, that's a lot.